mandatory minicamp this week. Two of those being Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. That's where we find our ESPN senior NFL reporter, Jeremy Fowler, joins us now. Lamar Jackson expected at Ravens minicamp this week. What's the significance of this upcoming stretch prior to the start of the season?
Well, Amina, one of the best offenses in the NFL can kick off in earnest. The minicamp, Lamar Jackson will be there with Derrick Henry, who just signed a recent contract extension, so they're going to get that running game in order next week in Baltimore. And also, Lamar Jackson has gotten a lot of freedom from his coaches in the last 2 years with OC Todd Monken coming in, so they're going to really build on that, give him even more and more command of what happens at the line of scrimmage. And then also, GM said publicly that they have entered early contract talks with Lamar Jackson about a possible extension. The sense here around the league is that Baltimore could follow the blueprint that Buffalo put together back in March when they extended Josh Allen. Even though he had multiple years left on his contract, the feeling is get ahead of that huge quarterback market money in 3 or 4 years from now. Just pay your guy now when he's got multiple years left on his current deal.
Yeah, well, let's stay in the AFC and talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs are expecting to see Travis Kelce at minicamp. This after he missed OTAs. What differences should we expect to see from Kelce on the field this year?
Well, Kelce will show up to minicamp in what's considered a slimmed-down version. I'm told that he's gotten in great shape this offseason. Last year probably played a little heavier than he had in the past, and so he had vowed to change that, and I'm told that he has in a big way. Just talking to people close to him, they said that he has slimmed down and gotten in great shape, and so this could be his final year. He's in the last year of his contract. He's in his mid-30s, certainly a Hall of Fame career, and he wants to potentially end it on the highest note possible.
Yeah, despite all the chatter last season, Kelce still had 97 receptions last year, his 7th straight season with at least 90 catches. And Jeremy Fowler with the latest. Also, happy Father's Day, Jeremy.
Thank you, Amina.
Over to the NFL, where mini camps are underway. No better time for the Fowler Files than the mini camp confidential edition. And how tall am I compared to Jeremy Fowler here on SportsCenter? That is also confidential, America.
Your personality is like 6'10".
That's all that matters. All right. So Aaron Rodgers finally decided to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and once considered to sign with the Minnesota Vikings. They've gone with J.J. McCarthy, a guy who hurt his knee during his rookie season. So how much confidence do they have in him coming off that injury?
Well, Scooby, I thought it was supposed to be confidential. We're not supposed to share this with the public.
We're going to do this for America.
So, as was told to me, the Vikings feel like J.J. McCarthy in day 9 of these offseason workouts was a lot stronger than day 1. Coming off that knee issue, they knew he could start a little slowly, but they like the way he's throwing the ball. They feel very comfortable with where he's at going into training camp. They didn't sign Rodgers and went with McCarthy because they believe in their 3-year plan. A young quarterback they like on a rookie scale, so they'll be aggressive on the roster without him. They believe they can win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years. Now you got the Colts. Daniel Jones making his move a little bit, minicamp, taking those first-team reps with Anthony Richardson resting his shoulder. Richardson plans to be back for training camp for that battle, but I was told Jones was a fast processor at the line of scrimmage, good chemistry with his receivers. He was, quote, very sharp, as was told to me, in minicamp as the guy. So it's going to be fascinating once they hit camp in that battle. Then you got the New York Jets. So they're all in, buying the expectations of new head coach Aaron Glenn. They got 2 stars that they could potentially pay. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, cornerback Sauce Gardner. I'm told they've had some preliminary talks, exchanged some numbers, had all that fun stuff as far as new deals. So they got 5 to 6 weeks to see if they can come to an agreement before training camp on those star contracts. Speaking of contracts, Terry McLaurin. So this one's a little different because he skipped minicamp. He's been unhappy with his contract situation. I talked to somebody with the team who said, look, we want McLaurin to be a Commander for life. It's just been probably a little slower than everyone expected. These are hard deals to do. That receiver market is well above $30 million per year. He's a star receiver, so they got 5 or 6 weeks before camp to try to shake that out, and then we'll see what happens. Then you got the Browns. So this was fascinating because I was told Kevin Stefanski's plan for his 4 quarterbacks and OTAs and minicamp was to try to get a lot of different guys, different touches in different situations, and they all really answered the bell, including Sanders, who showed the ability to put the ball in some tight windows. He threw with aggressiveness, took some chances, so they like where he sits. Now Stefanski has to formulate a plan in training camp that's probably a little more crystallized, maybe has a little bit of a depth chart to it. They are not there yet, but Sanders has made an impression, there's no doubt.
Really fun time of the year when it comes out to the NFL. And that, ladies and gentlemen, the Jeremy Fowler. I'm just as tall as him. Appreciate it, brother.
My age, so.
Don't take a deep breath.
Elsewhere in the division, Browns quarterbacks continue to compete for the starting spot, and they were out at mandatory minicamp today. Shedeur Sanders spoke this afternoon about his comfortability in a crowded Browns quarterback room.
It's just a mindset, it's just an adjustment. You got to go and understand the situation that you're in and be able to approach that and get the best out of it. So you can view things as you're not getting reps in a negative way, or you could view it as, okay, when it's my time to get out there? So there's no excuses, because when you get out there, nobody cares how many reps you got. Whenever you get in the game, nobody cares if you took a snap before. You know, like, they care about production. So that's the main thing. When you get out there, you got to be able to produce.
I like that. Well said by Shedeur. Our Browns reporter, Daniel Oyefusi, was out at practice today. Daniel, what did you see from the quarterbacks with your own eyes?
Yeah, Laura, it was a really busy day for the rookies, Dillon Gabriel as well as Shedeur Sanders. Coach Kevin Stefanski gave them the bulk of the reps in team drills, and they continued to show growth in this Browns offense, throwing for deep touchdown passes in team drills. Now, after practice, we spoke to both rookies who said that they're trying to learn any way they can in the crowded quarterback room, whether that be on the field, walkthroughs, virtual reality, and even picking the brains of the veteran quarterbacks in the room, such as 18-year vet Joe Flacco. Shedeur Sanders said, "I'd be a fool not to get insight from a former Super Bowl MVP." Now, we also spoke to Sanders about the lack of practice reps that he's gotten at times as seemingly QB4 on this depth chart, but Sanders said that there's no excuses for him. He's just looking to take advantage of every opportunity he gets. Now, when I asked Sanders what his goals were for this summer, he said he's not worried about the quarterback competition that looms over every practice. He told me, when it's my time to play, it's my time to play.
Really interesting. Thanks, Daniel. We'll keep an eye on that. That quarterback battle is going to be one that you will not be able to ignore. We appreciate your time. Tim, you brought something up even right after the draft, I think, about just how difficult it is to manage the reps with such a crowded room. In your opinion, with 4 quarterbacks sharing these reps, can Shedeur win this job?
To start the season, no, I don't believe so, Laura, because, you know, the inside track on the reps are going to go to Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. And even some of the reporting now about how reps have gone with Flacco and Pickett kind of on one end of the field, and then the other end, you know, kind of a separate group for, you know, Gabriel and Sanders. But when you do that, it's not apples to apples in terms of the competition. You know, it's the pro version of varsity and JV, you know, when you do it that way. So there's not enough time, you know, to give all 4 guys like a legitimate shot to be the week 1 starter. Now, it doesn't mean, you know, guys won't eventually get their chance. It just means to start the season, that's how it's going to go. So until, you know, you're getting reps with Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku and guys like that, that's not, you know, you're not in the mix. So, look, I would just point out what he's saying is exactly correct about even if you get 0 reps, you're expected to play well. That's a perfect posture to have for a young quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I thought he was handling the questions really well there, and that's good to see. Thanks, Tim. We got more coming your way here on time since signing with the Steelers.
Some things improved a little bit where I felt like I could fully be all in here with the guys. I had a great conversation with Mike throughout the entire process, and Omar. But it's good to get that done and get behind us. I don't need it. For my ego, I don't need it to keep playing. A lot of decisions that I've made over my career and life from strictly the ego, even if they turn out well, are always unfulfilling. But the decisions made from the soul are usually pretty fulfilling. So this was a decision that was best for my soul. And I felt like being here with Coach T and the guys that got here and the opportunity here was the best for me, and I'm excited to be here.
Soul searching. Okay, Adam, what can you tell us about Rodgers' first day with the Steelers?
Well, it started out with him delivering a message of similar note to what he told reporters later in the day, Laura. He told his team after weeks of speculation about when he would sign and whether he would show up, that he was fully committed, all in, ready to go to work and be there with the rest of his teammates. And that work began right away today with his first practice as a Pittsburgh Steeler. This essentially was his onboarding. These few days of mandatory minicamp are his version of orientation, where he can begin to work with his teammates, learn his coaches, see the offense, experience his new city, his new home. But that was what he told his team this morning. He's all in and ready to get to work with them.
Shefty, it's a great point. You know what I feel like every offseason? I feel like